Alright, everyone, hello. Welcome to the Quadcast. I believe this was the third session. Correct? Yeah. This was the third session of Greenskin Gaming's Thursday Miners game. So, as I guess you can quickly see, looking at the big map, there's basically no AI left. We have lost a few players within the European region, and we're going to go ahead and start with Andalusia, who looking quite nice, has a healthy balance of 150 gold per month. His manpower is actually quite high. That should be among the highest in the game with 183k, and as we can see, he has all of Iberia to himself. He unsurprisingly won the death war with Catalonia. Catalonia ally Saluzzo day one pieced out to save his own skin. And as a result, Andalusia is going to be quite strong with most of North Africa and will likely consolidate the rest of Iberia. For third ideas, he opted to go theocracy, so we're not going to have any colonies out of him. Alliance-wise is friended up with Spain, and that appears to be it. And
Spain?
Sorry, in Spain, France. Whatever. France, and he is rivaled with GB and Byzantium, so okay, it appears he did give up the Timbuktu land to Sokoto, so I believe they are friendly. Although, wait. Oh, okay, he gave up. I'm not quite sure what the deal was, but I guess Andalusia had this blocked off, and Sokoto, who is is looking to try and form Mamluks, yes, Cairo here, was blocked off from this direction, so probably a few hundred gold exchange allowed him to get there. And being that he is not friendly with Byzantium, that seems to make a good bit of sense. As for where he goes from here, is with a very weak salute, so it could be trying to get into Genoa before anyone else does. That's a good node to start pushing all your trade. I mean, betraying France could be an option, although with all this land still to conquer and build up on, that's a lot to do. As for buildings, how are you on manufactories? Right. I think this might be a slight issue just with Catalonia, because there is the event. Or did that already happen? Where a lot of this wool turns into cloth. So if he doesn't have that event, then that's kind of going to hurt his income for a bit, because he doesn't really have many good manufactories to build. For workshops, that's still quite a lot of buildings to do, so definitely in no need to rush and fight anyone, as there's lots of scaling to do on the land that you currently have. Now let's move to France. France, previously allied with the dead Netherlands. I suppose we'll talk to that later. This was the Nevers player who I guess sort of won the French Thunderdome by default. Money-wise is quite a ways below what Andalusia is at, but I think he had a little bit more of a complicated game start with some more neighbors and more restrictions based on aggressive expansion. As for ideas, we gone Pluto Eco Quality, so that should make some very good high morale French units. Who are your declared enemies? Just Saluzzo and Great Britain, so suppose this is always a dream for France to get Genoa collect in there, as without trade deals you can't really buddy up with England too much, and you're always going to be losing like half of your income to whoever collects in the English trade channel, so no real surprises there. I get France, how do we do on buildings? Quite good on the land that you had for a while. Yeah, almost all barracks done. And yeah, a lot of manufactories that need to be built. not sure if. Oh yeah, likely. Yeah, still on a little bit of debt from a war defending Netherlands that may have been inadvisable, but it was a noble endeavor nonetheless. So I think, yeah. Well, I guess it's a lot of options for France depending on where he goes. Obviously, he's going to pick up the rest of southern France, and then it's whether or not he feels like competing for the English Channel or going into Italy or possibly Spain, as there's no chance in hell he's going to go colonial. Let's take a look at GBR. Ah. Oh, any comments, Vilgot? You can feel free to jump in since you're my only friend.
Yeah.
So, GB actually making very small amount of money.
Has some rebels, but sitting down York, which is a trade center.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So there's a few things obvious. He's not insulted a rival. Could easily fix that. May have just ticked over on the end of the year. He is currently pushing into Mexico, which, as I understood it, was a bit of a rule break, as we were trying to reserve a space for a possible Aztec, Inca, and maybe a North American tribe player. So it may have been better served by going after the tribes in Canada, but because of that, he's suffered from rebels as his whole army is off fighting Spain, or not Spain, in Mexico. I mean, they're Spanish speaking. I get a little of lag. So manpower, not too bad, but ideas. I think he's one of the few people who have gone exploration. So
together with Sakota, at least.
Yeah. So we'll get to Sokoto after Europe, I think. But why is he? Yeah, he still doesn't have majority of the English Channel. Is he transferring from Normandy at least? Yeah, he is. I mean, that's kind of weird that Netherlands is Dithmarschen is taking so much. Or maybe he just doesn't have enough light ships.
He has 20 of them.
Yeah. Not really sure. I get. Yeah, he is protecting trade because there's a few places that have the. Oh yeah, right. No, it's Normandy that's also really good to protect trade with two things in the same state. So, I guess quick story. Britain and the Netherlands player who started as a proponent, they were feuding over the English Channel as one does, and I guess there was a deal that was reached, and Britain managed to get Dithmarschen on side along with Franconia, and Netherlands, who was, I guess, allied with only France at the time, was kind of outnumbered and kind of doomed. I believe, yeah, I guess as the Franconia player playing the reason for, I guess, such a gank was, I guess we all sort of fully expected that someone else would come to Netherlands' aid, as it was 3 players against 2, and that if it was just 2 players, we thought that a Poland might take advantage and start his own solo war against Dithmarschen. So that was my rationale for joining, as well as winning some just good favor. But nonetheless, I guess France fought well, and good on him for trying to defend his ally, but he didn't really have a chance, and Netherlands was butchered. And I guess gone somewhat well for France, who's taken a bit of land that was previously Netherlands.
He took some for McLean's head.
Yeah. So that's good. GB should be able to build a lot of manufactories right now. Has gotten some started, but is kind of behind. Yeah, a lot of. Right, okay, that's all red, that's why. Yeah, it feels like there's a lot that this GB can do, and that still hasn't been done. Yeah, like still a lot of provinces that are very, very low dev cost. So, kind of weak, taking a while to launch off, but if it's left alone, it definitely should be expected to prosper and get nice and chunky. Now, Dithmarschen is looking pretty respectable, a little bit behind Andalusia, but beating the others on income.
Yeah.
Manpower of 150k seems probably going to be the standard, I think. And as for
Indigenous.
ideas went for indigenous as his third. I'm not sure if this might be a little bit greedy, but I think he's also could be in a decent enough position to go for it. This is just super monarch point efficiency. He's now got 15% dev cost reduction. He's got 10% and where is it? Yeah, 17% and 17.5% idea cost reduction as well. That all goes with, where is it? Yeah, his 85% innovativeness, just because, yay, republics. Although, right, because he did political dynasties. He's done things a little bit differently. However, he does have no nobility estate, so that reduces his point generation by a little bit. Why is he losing so much money? Is he spending it all on? Oh, it's maxed out root out corruption. That's why.
Oh.
Okay, I mean that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Can he form Hanover? Yeah, he can.
And
Okay. So, not really sure why he's holding on to that. I mean, Hanover is a pretty good tag. Maybe he's just banking it for the prestige, although he needs the prestige now.
yeah. But
Hanover,
Divmar says it isn't bad either though. With
yeah,
their yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You know what? He probably is waiting to finish his mission tree. Cause he does have a 15% morale mission, and what is it? Yeah, it's right here. The conquest of bread. That's going
Really
to
good.
earn him a fair bit of money because his trade goods, as you can see, aren't particularly good. It's basically all fish. He's got some iron, copper, a little bit of cloth, but it's pretty meh. And as long as he's got Finland is AI, the player no showed, and so we're not protected. He has enough grain to pop that mission, and I guess Hanover ID is like, oh, click the mission. They are better late, just because you get that fire damage received, which is huge. Get some extra discipline, but you lose your morale, and I think you could argue that Dithmarschen is better at this moment, especially to do the missions. So then you can get all these missions again. So yeah, he's probably gonna keep Dithmarschen ideas for a little while longer. Military 140 force limit, quite nice. Some building still to do.
Yeah.
And he has been working on his manufactories, but not too many left to do.
Is he Anglican?
No, that's just a bug left over from Britain. He should be Protestant. Okay. Well, I guess diplomatically friends with GB and Franconia. There is some sort of deal where he gets the majority of the lowlands, and so that he does not lose too much money from Lubeck, just because it leaks so much, and I can't really see like that alliance lasting too long. Like, cause once Britain has his colony set up and is sending like 200 ducats from the New World here, he's not going to want to share 20% of that with Dithmarschen. So, interesting to see how things will happen. Other ally Franconia, could also, I mean, it could last or it could not, because everything Dithmarschen has, or everything that Franconia has, flows into Lubeck. So, I mean, this could be a decent next node for Franconia, or it could be a good natural expansion to secure your trade. However, with the AI Finland, this seems like the path of least resistance for now. So, move on to Franconia, my own country, which I can go ahead, open the Great Power List, and brag. Huzzah, bigger than Ming. So, I mean, not particularly because I'm a great player, but because I am...
Free game.
Yeah, free game. Everyone else, all the other Germans other than Dithmarschen died to coalitions or early AI wars. Ideas, nothing too crazy. Quality, Pluto Eco quality. And, I guess just help, not too long ago finished up this war in order to maintain favor and just to avoid any backstab. So manpower at 200k, which I believe is just barely the most, and income is a good bit higher than everyone. That is not particularly because everything's rich, although this is a very good land. It's a few missions that have been popped, since some of them, I guess I'll go ahead. It was mainly this mission here that was just for a brief time. Rhineland was the most valuable trade. It still actually is. It's still beating English Channel. But I guess I didn't know how long that was going to last, so I popped it as soon as I could. I also have 15% goods produced on, so that is earning me a fair bit of the ducats, not to mention my gold mines, which are finally prosperous after killing most of the AI. So that's like 30 gold just from gold itself. I think probably the best thing that I've managed to do on Franconia is I've turned my entire country blue with buildings. Almost everything is built. Some manufactories are still possibly going up. I think I might actually be the play to build these on wine, just because there's so much right now. And I think, later, I think because I have money, it's worth a force limit of 200, so that's a fair significant bit over Dithmarschen. So as being located centrally in Europe, Franconia is allied to Hanover and Croatia for now, and has many options for where it can go. As said, it could potentially break the alliance with Dithmarschen and go for Lubeck. It could, probably less good, but getting Venice that's an end node, but probably makes less sense. Other option is just get downstream very good land of Poland. An option is to divide Poland with Ruthenia and possibly Dithmarschen, form Poland for the better ideas. Another option would be France. So everyone's an option, but then I guess the bad news is everyone wouldn't mind, and you're bordering everyone. So Digital could be a bit dicey, especially if you have a #1 GP target on your back. And I guess just tested, so explain, I can go kingdom or empire if I wanted to, but forming Switzerland, I believe, could be a good thing to do, especially if I just have to sit around all day waiting for Diplo or a good opportunity so I don't get surrounded. Because forming Switzerland, or you can just look at Swiss missions, you get access to some pretty good missions, particularly this one to get a 5% morale permanent bonus. So
Only problem is
yes,
you gotta end the Habsburgs.
Yes, and while Austria will shortly die, the Habsburgs live on. So I guess that could be another motivation for killing Croatia, but then I'm sure there are ways to get around that. So I think that's all I could say about Franconia. Saluzzo was having some internet issues and did manage to kill off Sicily, who was barely hanging on and had a slight chance to win a war. He, alas, did not win that war. And now, because Saluzzo was AI for a substantial amount of time, they are, if they come back as a player, they are definitely the weakest in Europe, and I don't see them lasting very long. As see, Croatia's already moved into Genoa and has claimed a healthy amount of land for themselves, so they are probably going for the Italy route. As I mean, there's not too much competition there for now. All right, let's go ahead, move on to Croatia itself. Money wise, doing respectable. That's on Dithmarschen levels, and manpower,
Good manpower.
is just a little bit less with a force limit. Yeah, also very good, 152. So I think this country has seemed to bounce back a little bit from where it was left at the end of the previous session. Still quite a bit of buildings to do. How is it for... Oh, seems... Yeah, there aren't too many manufactories in this area, but a lot of them are, those that are there are built. So that's great. Went for, oh yeah, quantity idea, so that's why his force limit's so good. So, I mean, Dalmatia does have quite good quality in their ideas, however, they don't have any discipline, so that could be a little bit where they're vulnerable.
Yeah, their quality look a bit lackluster.
Mm-hmm. But if they form Italy, that should fix it, because then they change morale for discipline and keep very good ICA.
Yeah.
And so I think, yeah, likely it's going to be an Italy with all this, which is going to be quite a strong country. It's probably likely that he'll have to compete with France or maybe even Andalusia, as Andalusia we see does have Sardinia. So I guess, yeah, I don't think the player will come back. There'll be a scramble for this land, which is, oh yeah, bad news for Croatia. That if that does happen, they are still allied with them, so they'll lose.
They'll be
the
5 years
race.
behind.
Yeah, they'll lose the race unless they decide to truce break, and without any points, I can't see that they will. So, yeah, diplomatically allied with Franconia, I think that's probably a good idea, and I don't know if they're still at odds with Poland or Byzantium, but I think if they are, it might be in Croatia's interest to try and appease them, make friends with them. I mean, they are sharing trade nodes a bit, so that could be complicated, but I think his priority is going to be in the west. At the very least, try and get a good border with France. So, speaking of Greeks to the south, take a look at the glorious nation of Byzantium. And they are way down there in terms of money. What's up? Okay, they're losing like everything from Alexandria, so I guess that's it. Because I guess my understanding is that Byzantium is no longer is not great friends with Sokoto. That I don't know if they got beat to this, or he may have just screwed up and didn't take Alexandria to block people off.
No, it was he took Cairo first. I got the other provinces sieged down later, but he had it first.
Yeah, so he started the war first, or he just like blitzed it faster, or well, yeah, I think unless there is some diplomatic solution, I mean, it can easily be solved through Diplo, because both people want to form Mamluks. Byzantium wants to do it so they can then form Rum and actually get a tag with some better fighting ideas in it. I guess they've gone through a decent bit of their mission tree. I'm not sure. Like how? Yeah,
And
it's a lot of claims, but I don't know where the good bonus.
Well, if you go on decisions, you see that like Triumph for Italy, Triumph for Balkans, so
yeah.
like Triumph for Anatolia, which gives you army tradition and prestige. So I think you might want to click those first before he forms from.
Right. Yeah, so
At
I
least
mean,
when he cans.
this land isn't so great for Sokoto. I think it, yeah, very easily solvable. Set some borders. Uh, sell Cairo to Byzantium. Let them form Mamluks first. Pop their missions. Go rum, and then return it to Sokoto, so Sokoto can then in turn form Mamluks if that is their desire. Because I don't see like this being a war that Byzantium could easily win, because it's just
Pain.
yeah, it's gonna be pain. I mean, I guess if Sokoto pushes up more this way, then like conquering down this way can be a good source of war score and winning battles. But going across the desert, all the way into Sokoto, like down through that's going to be suffering. And if he does that, I would expect Croatia to just be like, well, free land and go in for the Balkans. So I think, Byzantium should maybe make friends with Sokoto and decide if they're their next target. Maybe Persia, although I think Persia is going to be a little bit. They look a little bit too thick for them. So Poland or Ruthenia might be a better choice. Potentially even Croatia, like getting Venice node for Byzantium, that would be good too. I did go ahead. I didn't check their ideas. They've gone for quality. As for buildings, oh yeah, they are kind of suffering for buildings. Yeah, it looks like they haven't. Yeah, just bad on the money. Oh, why is it? Have you been reducing autonomy? No, you bad boy.
You sus little fucker.
Okay, I don't think that solves the money. That's probably just a few extra ducats. I guess annexing Syria soon would also help. Yeah, I guess Byzantium's problem is going to be similar to Franconia in that you're sort of centrally located, bordering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people that could all be convinced to take a piece of your land should you look weak. So, good luck with that. Moving to Poland, who I think looked to be one of the strongest player nations. The end of last session has fallen a little bit behind on income just because it is Poland. He's lost his power projection as well. Does not yet have Polish crown. Oh yeah, he's been right. He was kind of struggling a little bit to finish that. Oh yeah, and he can't. Yeah. Oh, okay, because all the Czech stuff is his culture group. Okay. Some loan. Oh, probably loans just to build up manufactories. Oh yeah, he's done a very good job of building up manufactories on all these cloth. A little bit more left over. A lot of barracks and other things to do. Oh yeah, geez. Probably build those workshops first. That's some bang for your buck. As for ideas, has opted for quantity, which is, I guess, a little bit interesting because I guess you can very much go for a cav focus if he had gone for horde or quality. He doesn't have Cossacks yet. Is friends with Byzantium, who is friends with Ruthenia, who he is not friends with. I think.
Yeah, they broke alliance somewhere in the middle of last session.
Oh yeah, and a lot of land that's just unstated. I really don't know why. Like, even if you don't have the admin to state it, the reason that you state it is prosperity starts ticking up, even if it's not fully cored. So, I mean, I guess it's a little bit edge case, but there's really no negative for having it all up. Like, you're not, doesn't affect your gov cap until it's actually cored. Or does it? I don't know. Well, anyway, as for military, 143 force limit, which I guess slightly inflated due to quantity. So, it is Poland. Oh, that is probably a decent opportunity for someone to get him, just with a morale penalty. So Poland also suffering similar problems, kind of centrally located. However, there is no player up here, so he's really only worried about Ruthenia, Hanover, Franconia, maybe Croatia, but I think that doesn't make as much sense. Pest is not the richest node in the game, so probably would the most sense might be for him to try and consolidate the Baltic so that he actually has somewhere to collect, or he just pushes east and gets all of this good manpower but low money land. I think, yeah, just sort of looking at the map, Ruthenia probably the weaker of all his neighbors. He should have some decent missions too. Is there more? There's one or two morale missions for Poland, isn't there? Oh yeah, there's a discipline of one. Although yeah, no, he needs a land to pop those. Okay, well, let's take a look at Ruthenia, who's I think our last European country. Yeah, okay, so this is suffering. Yeah, losing money just because it's maxed root out corruption. Yeah, I think that's the lowest manpower that we've seen.
For Sardom, even? Christ.
Yeah.
Why is that
No,
proxy?
yeah, he doesn't have it clicked. Yeah, you need to go ahead and click that, bud.
How much did it buff his?
15k.
That's something at least.
Yeah, he does have very good cav. Yeah, and he has gone like a mostly cav-based army, but oh my god.
What?
Okay, something has gone very wrong here. Like, I don't know if it was just because he's always been poor because it's a poor region, so you can't afford decent advisors, or if something actually happened. Okay. Yeah, not really sure why you're missing some of these things. Just yeah, that's gonna be. Well, it's not updating yet. But I feel like he didn't really expand very much this session, did he?
Went a bit into Muscovy and a bit east, I believe.
Yeah, but he's just so far behind in admin tech. He's dip tech. He's ahead, and he needs to be. Probably should have used that to dev, or I don't know if he had any subjects or like. I actually expected no guy to be a subject, but and he has the gold mine, but that's just not helping because yeah, only 40% in the Crimea because he's sharing it with Persia, collecting in Kiev and losing most of the money. Is his autonomy high? Not particularly. Like he got some bids. Like it just, I think he had like most of this at the start. He doesn't.
And the capital, we should move his capital away from Poland border.
Probably, but he doesn't have the admin for it. Like, yeah. So, any fight between Poland and Ruthenia, I mean, Poland has triple his force limit.
Without any outside help, he won't win.
Yeah, I mean, I think actually there's possibly a decent chance that Poland again can win 1v2 against Ruthenia and Byzantium. I mean, I think it would be a difficult chance, but I just think Ruthenia is so weak, so poor. Like they'd go bankrupt immediately. Yeah, he's got no morale. Yeah, he did go for the horde, so his cav smashes. Oh, and he's not done innovative ideas, so that's not helping. Oh, jeez, why are you 4 mill ideas or policies? definitely don't need those. Yeah, I don't know if it was bad rulers or not, but I feel like he should have had a lot more. Definitely needs to get help from Byzantium. Maybe Dithmarschen could be interested to protect him as well, but this country needs a lot of work, unfortunately. He somehow needs to get some money into this country. So let's move ahead into the Middle East. So we have our Persian Georgia, who is looking pretty. He's eliminated all competition in the immediate area. Yeah, only bordering Byzantium. And I guess no one particularly wants to fight him. Oh, geez, really? He's that high? Okay. Not sure if this was changed or not, but yeah, I guess Zoroastrian, not too crap, but also not too good, unless you count 5 discipline, moving on to 10 discipline, and just fire damage done and received reduced. However, oh no, he has money enough to upgrade this, so. Oh, yeah, and the really stupid thing, it's only. Oh, okay, he doesn't have that much power banked up for it, but you can really get it done quick if you just. I mean, this needs to be a percentage of your max manpower, not flat. It's just dumb. As for money, was the richest at one point, but he's fallen back. 160 income because he should have built. Yeah, he built all of his manufactories on time. He banked up the money, so that's why his income spiked so much. But losing quite a lot of money to AI. Kind of obnoxious. No allies and probably no real enemies. I have no idea. I really need someone in here to explain what the hell happened in India because it looks awful. But we'll get to that later. For ideas, yeah, we got some quality going on. And he should probably be well built in all his other buildings. Yeah. Yeah. Not. Oh no, I did spend the money on that. So, Persia looking strong. I guess it's very much. What does he want to do? Probably. Maybe not take the steps just because there's a big, possibly scary Oirat there. I mean, with how crazy India is looking right now without checking out the countries, that just might be the way to go. And Byzantium's also possibly ripe for the taking. Yeah, you could just say, hey, Sokoto, you want Alexandria? And take Constantinople, Aleppo for yourself. Oh, I like the spot that Persia's at, so let's take a look at some Africans, right? It's, so Kodo should be. Oh, wait, what? Why is his income a lot lower than I thought it would be? I mean, I know his trade's bad. Okay. I guess he hasn't really devved these gold mines too much. As for idea, okay, so he has doubled back for exploration, and he is colonizing the coasts and inland. So probably wants to get his colony up a little bit faster. Yeah, it does have claims on these natives, so go ahead, speed it up. Has been beaten to the Caribbean by Britain. So I guess this is going to be interesting. I haven't seen a game where we have a West African go colonial, because my biggest question is where is he going to put his park his trade? Because I think what he's going to have to do is go after Andalusia to get Seville, because Ivory Coast is not safe. I guess you can Amazons does not. Yeah, Amazon does go to Ivory Coast with Brazil and most of South America as well. But if he ever intends to get Mexico and that gold or the Caribbean, he's gonna be in trouble. Like, unless there is a Aztec player that is able to sort of like be, yeah. If there's one or two people in the Americas that can be a force and actually be relevant, there's no way that Sokoto is going to like win colonially if Britain does their plan, which is right now Caribbean, Mexico, the Lit's that for a big colony, and then you just have all of this at your leisure. So, I mean, North America plus Mexico and Caribbean will win over South America every time. So I think that is likely going to be a bit of a problem for Sokoto. I guess, yeah, other reason his income hasn't come online. Does actually have a lot of good manufactories to build. But, you know, he just suffers in trade, unfortunately. Also interested to see what happens with Yemen. Yemen was a player, but has been having difficulties attending games, so it was protected, which maybe it shouldn't have been because it is now just completely irrelevant. Interesting to see where Sokoto and Zulu divide the line. Sokoto also interested in forming the Mamluks. That could be. I think he probably easily wins that war. I mean, he can't lose the war. Or you just solve it diplomatically and focus on Andalusia. Force limit. Oh, manpower quite low. Force limit good though. But I get. Well, should have some very good quality once he finishes up his ideas. So let's go. I don't know this tag. I mean, of course it's that. So Zulu is the Congo player who making a similar amount of money as Sokoto, a little bit more, but that's just because of his heroic amounts of gold mines. Yeah, I think something interesting. I don't know exactly what happened with indigenous ideas and being a primitive nation or being animist. I'm not entirely sure what happened, so I'll cut him some slack and ignore that. Yeah, bad thing with Africa is all these culture groups. So I think, I mean, maybe potentially this is a thing to do to maybe make Africa's life a little bit easier, is maybe expand the amount of culture groups, or I mean reduce them, merge some in. Like, I don't think this group, yeah, I don't think like these need to be their own group. Maybe like one group for all this, one group for this. I don't know. There are things that can be done. I think, yeah, probably not too much to say about Zulu. He's just waiting to be able to take Yemen. He already has this as a big vassal, so it appears that he's going to get the majority of Ethiopian land. Is collecting in the Ivory Coast, and I think he should be trying to stack up some money. He doesn't have so many manufactories to build, but it's Tech 14 on all this ivory where he gets his manufactory. So if you're able to bank up 10k gold for that and instant build those, do you have the... Maybe that would have been better to save for those manufactories off later, but I'm sure that's okay. It could have been AI that popped it too. Don't know. But yeah, no, I think Zulu going to be big and strong. It's just whether or not... I mean, he's pretty safe ally to Sokoto. What does he do from here? Maybe go into India, try and get Coromandel and push that into Zanzibar. So let's take a look at Mysore. So I guess just sort of looking at India, we see he is allied with Orissa. How many subjects do we have? Mysore. Gee. Oh. Huh. Okay, so Mysore is terrifyingly strong. I guess India is or Delhi is dead or mostly dead. I saw that they lost those cores, but I didn't realize that Mysore has snaked the entire subcontinent of India. So, uh, I don't know, maybe getting a little bit greedy with those ideas because or that just might invite some Persian intervention. We have done quality, manpower, yeah, relatively low as it is India. But income actually not that great at 97. Well, I guess he doesn't have everything consolidated just yet. And my question is, how's his ideas? Morale, land, fire, oh yeah, he's got very good ideas. No wonder he's winning. It just allied with Orissa, so I mean, if you compare Orissa to Mysore, I don't think there's going to be much there. So yeah, were I Persia or possibly Oirat, I'd be looking at this with some worry. Although I guess Oirat probably, as long as he gets China, doesn't care what happens in India. I guess yeah, Persia. This might be where you need to focus some things on avoiding mostly united India against you. As for buildings, yeah, I guess with a lot of wars, although those are all burger loans, so that's good. Not much room to build manufactories or other income generating things, so how are we on tech? Yeah. Oh, the good news is you have the coring cost policy now, and you also have the diplomatic annexation. Haven't yet annexed any of your subjects or started, but yeah, when you do, just yeesh. Yeah, that's a lot of stuff to do. Spying on Balochistan and Afghanistan. Okay. Yeah, I mean, definitely a good strategic choice if you can at least get, like, these mountains to be your border. But I think you go further than that. That's definitely going to provoke Persia. You don't want to get too greedy because, as it is, while Orissa is your ally, I think he's probably just going to be sitting around and eventually be 42 income. Basically no manpower. What? Is that just high time? No. Maybe it's just a lot of wars because, yeah. 400 dev versus 800 dev plus more. Yeah. So, yeah, Mysore is twice the size of Orissa. I don't know exactly what happened or what's gone wrong with Orissa, or if you were just stuck fighting Mysore's wars, but you are far behind. Yeah, not even being able to start it to annex this guy. Jeez, although I would like that king, so maybe just play Nepal instead, right? Yeah, because at this point, if you're just Bengal and Doab and nothing else, you're gonna have a bad time. Like maybe if Mysore is a good ally, that'll help you take Ava and all this land here, which is like there's now quite a lot. It's quite a lot better land now than it used to be. At this point, if I was Mysore, friend one of the Persia if you can, make a deal, and just eat India. You can go nuts. Yeah, Orissa probably. I mean, if you don't, unless you really trust Mysore to support you in exchange for this or get you to a competitive spot, you need to make something happen with Persia. I think. I don't know. I think the longer you sit on this alliance, Mysore is just gonna outscale you faster. Because there's not much money coming to Bengal for you, unfortunately. So, let's take a look at Ava. So, Ava also doesn't seem like they've expanded too much. Yeah, oh, jeez. That is devastating amounts of poverty. My lord. How do you have so low? Is it just... Yeah, not really sure why that's so low, but was allied with Delhi. I think there was some fighting. Like, I wish I knew what was going on, but I don't. Also allied with Oirat. I don't know. It doesn't look like there was a Khmer player, although I think there may have supposed to have been one. I don't think I can really comment too much in this area. Done some idea stuff. I don't know. Yeah, just behind in them all right now. Yeah, I think he got involved in some Indian wars, which could have been a mistake. I don't know exactly. Because at the end of last session, you were basically this with no subjects. And now you're mostly the same size with a few subjects. Good news is that Lanzhong has quite a lot of cores to reconquest. So I guess you just gotta somehow... Yeah, I think we need to admin focus and just take everything as fast as possible. Because I think there is a Malacca player, and with how good the land in Siam is now, I would expect them to be gunning for this as well. And Malaya can be quite decent on land with their ideas, if they so choose. So yeah, I'm just going to take a quick look at Malacca. I don't know if it was a player or not. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just... I mean, offensive seems a little bit weird to me, so I don't... I'm going to say maybe it was a mid-game reseed or not, or such. So there's no subjects, really. Okay, I'm not going to look too hard on this country. I think it was a reseed or AI for a while, so I'm going to look ahead at where we're at. So we do now have a Central Asian Horde player who is actually quite a bit lower than I would expect. I don't remember. I think we were trying to see the high C player, but I don't think that actually happened. Why is our income so low? Yeah, it got a little bit of issues here in terms of ideas and tech. I guess, yeah, I think it's probably a little bit late to be a horde. You can't make much money. No advisors. Oh, yeah. I don't know, I guess just because there's so much lost time in this area from people that were reseeding, maybe doing a little bit of propping up of these formerly AI countries would help. I know Oirat got a lot of fixes, but I don't know if he was not able to fight Ming or not, but can also just stay under Ming, keep pushing west, take Samarkand if you can. That is a pretty decent node if you're a Hordia, is like making no money in trade at all. Really don't know what the prestige is about. And some power projection, so. Oof. Yeah, as it is right now, I think, yeah, the Ming War has to happen soon. I'll get Beijing. That might also just be your ticket to money. So let's go ahead, look at our Japanese player. So we have basically a united Japan. I'm not sure what is preventing the button click. Oh, just because he's on max points. Oh, I get waiting for institution. Or are you gonna dev it with admin and mill? Unsure. Okay, what are the ouchie ideas? Not good. Okay, so we do have a third guy going colonial. So, yeah. I guess we're gonna have a Japan and California. I think you're gonna lose the race to Mexico to Britain, and depending on what happens. So, I think, yeah, maybe just looking at that, maybe Explo is a little bit premature. Yeah, maybe going for another mill ID and looking at both Oirat and Ava. I guess your competition for China region is low, so you could just go full land Japan. However, wait a second. I thought you were allowed to keep Shogunate in the mod. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not. But yeah, we have changed Japanese ideas, so you still get morale, you get infantry combat ability, but you don't have any discipline. You don't have any manpower modifications, but you have some naval bonuses instead. I don't know if any way to ask for fixes of any kind, but as for money, yeah. Like, you're right now ahead of both Ava, Oirat, and Malacca by more than double, just because you've unified Japan. You've got both your gold mines, which you should probably go ahead and dev up. How's your top? Yeah. Player did say that they just finished integrating a subject, but yeah, I guess if that was all the subject, that's fine. But definitely remember, reduce autonomy on this many provinces. This should up your income by a little bit once the month ticks over. But yeah, obviously next target Korea. If you go colonial, you could possibly coordinate with one of Britain's enemies to distract him while you snatch Mexico. But I think you might have more to gain from land. Like, Oirat is not scary. You can beat Oirat at this moment. Or you can, of course, cooperate with Oirat. You get Nippon and Jiren. Even, I guess he's got a bit of Jiren, so you can negotiate over there. Hangzhou for the Japanese, and Beijing, Xi'an for Oirat, and then you can go for Malacca. So I believe that is just about everyone covered. So I guess in summary, Asia is kind of a bit of a mess. Gonna have a super Mysore if Persia does not get further involved. Our African big boys have continued to be big boys and are just, I guess, waiting until they can reach other people, let alone see them. In Europe, I get Franconia, number one world GP. It just depends if that, yeah, I guess with Franconia, Poland, and all these sort of landlocked powers are going to be have some interesting diplomatic times. I think if Great Britain is left alone to get like Mexico, 13 colonies, West Indies, and Canada, he's in a very good spot, although they're quite weak for now. But I think Persia looks strong, Mysore looks strong, Franconia, Poland, and yeah, this triple block are all close-ish to equal strength, although I mean Franconia's double each of theirs income, so yeah, no, going to be an interesting next couple of sessions. Thanks everyone for giving it a listen, even though it's just me alone talking to myself. Goodbye.